I was asking you, were there any sports teams that people in the neighborhood followed?
I went to see a Dodgers-Giants game once at Ebbets Field, but my father mostly followed horses.
Okay.
So we always were watching the trotters or the paces. And the other day, somebody told me that her husband owned trotters, and did I know it was rigged? And I said yes.
What was trotters?
It's a particular gait that the horse does, and I don't want his pacers and you have the little cart behind that the jockey rides in a cart.
Okay.
And if they break the pace, it's 2 legs and 2 legs.
Okay.
Like so. And if you break the pace, you're out of the race.
So it's easy to fix.
Mm.
And did people bet on this?
My father did.
Was that through a bookie or through...
I believe he did a bookie.
Okay.
Yes. It was always a matter of where the next dollar was going to come from because my father bet.
Okay. There was...
Also, my father had a job
at
some point when we were on Belmont Avenue.
Yeah.
Not when we moved, when I went to high school. But he was a collection agent. So he worked for a store on Springfield Avenue where people would buy something on credit, where the collection would be 25 cents or 25 or 50 cents a week. And he would go on Sundays. He would go at night and collect.
Okay. When did you, did you live anywhere before Belmont, haven't you?
Yes, when I was in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, I went to Bragaw, which was in the same neighborhood, the same general Jewish area where I had grown up, where I moved when I was in high school.
Okay, and that was, you said the same general area, that was the original Jewish neighborhood in Newark, or no? Different?
No, it was new.
Okay.
It would have been.
And when did you move to Belmont Avenue?
Okay. I moved to Belmont Avenue when I was either in 2nd, 3rd, or 4th grade.
Okay. And where did you prefer, did you like the new place you moved to?
No, the first place was bigger, had and lighter, more open. I don't remember it clearly, but I know it had a sun porch where my Uncle Sal slept for a while, between wives, and my Aunt Sylvia moved in when she was pregnant. Her husband had been killed in a sweatshop.
Was that she was electrocuted?
Probably. Nobody ever gave details, but yeah. And they lived with us for a while.
Did you...
But we lived in that, and it had a porch.
Yeah.
It had a backyard. It had a swing set hanging from garages that nobody used. It was next door to private homes on either sides. So it was at the point where the people in the homes, 2, 3-story homes of single families, were beginning to be sold and being divided up. But we moved before that happened.
Just because you mentioned the bookie a little while ago, I was thinking of your Aunt Harriet.
Yeah.
And her first husband was a bookie.
Was he? I didn't know that.
Mo. His name was Morgenstern, not Luke. Before Luke, there was Mo.
Oh, I don't know him at all.
Yes, that's because no one would talk about him, and I had to. Aunt Blanche swore me to secrecy.
Oh, I never heard this story.
I'll tell you later. I don't have to record my story here. Were you close to any of your aunts and uncles?
My mother was the peacemaker in the family. We saw all the aunts and uncles. I don't remember them specifically. I remember my cousins.
Which cousins were you close with?
My cousin Jerry. He had an older sister, Betty. You have to remember that my aunts were not shy women. They were noisy. They were about 5'5" and round-ish.
Okay.
And had all been, my Aunt Rose, who was older, had been a swimmer and won medals. And the younger sisters all danced and sang and carried on and told jokes, and were very needed to be the center of attention. And so it was always a party. It always seemed like a party. My cousin Betty was more like them. She was a couple of years older than me. And it was always Betty did this and Betty did that. You have to remember I was 5'7.5" and built like a board. And I didn't look like them, and I wasn't outgoing like they were, and I didn't tell songs, and I sat in the corner and wondered who these people were. One time, when my Aunt Blanche came for dinner at my house in California, and she would always talk about what a hostess Betty was. And then Betty's younger brother came, and I went to dinner with him one time. And I said that Aunt Blanche always raved about Betty and her cooking. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, she always had 2 choices, 2 entrees. And I only served 1. And he said, did you ever taste her cooking? And ever since then, I lost total family insecurities.
Okay. And besides Jerry, who else were you close with?
Well, my mother, when my father's brother, Manny, got married to Rose. Now you have to remember their sisters married brothers. 2 sisters would marry 2 brothers. Yeah. Although my older Aunt Rose, there were 2 Aunt Roses. Older Aunt Rose did marry a first cousin, I think. Yeah. Who, when you came to New Jersey, the one and only time to visit the whole family, you were 11 months old. And my Aunt Rose's husband, who I did not like, who scared me, when you were in a walker going up and down in the apartment at my mother's house, my uncle Manny pinched you each time you went by. And you screamed, so you learned after the second time. And he said, why won't he come near me? But I didn't like him because we went to the Bronx once. And by the way, the Bronx is always called the Bronx. It's not the Brooklyn, the Staten Island. It's the Bronx. Nobody knows why. They were in the cleaning business a lot. And he must have been in alterations. And that went together. We went to the Bronx. They lived under an L. And we were there for Thanksgiving dinner. And I asked if I could have the skin, and he said, we don't have to eat the skin anymore. It was my favorite part. But we don't have to eat the skin anymore. So that was not a problem. My cousin Betty did something I have no idea that annoyed everybody, or him. And he said, go get the belt. And she didn't move. And he asked her several times. And my cousin Jerry got up and went and got the belt, with which he got hit.
He got it?
He got hit. She didn't get hit. He got hit because he did the wrong thing. He wanted to help his sister be punished. I thought that was awful. I really never talked to him much after that. But other than that, they were all nice. Most of the husbands who were not brothers. Most of the husbands were sort of on the quiet side. They had no choice.
Okay.
Yeah.